Hey, what's up, guys? John Crestani here, headed to Newport Beach to meet up with my buddy, multi-millionaire internet marketer, total beast mode, Jason Capital. Really excited to go out and meet him. We're gonna be trading some tips, and tricks to figure out, you know, how we can both improve each other's businesses. Now, we're gonna be jet skiing today, and we're gonna be doing a few other interesting things, so come along for the ride and let's have fun.
How about you?
What is it? I heard you were the douchiest, we're gonna be calling you the douchiest marketer in the world.
Mom, I made it.
We're gonna do football jet skiing. We're doing football jet skiing.
Oh my god.
So, sweet, awesome stuff. Stoked to talk to you about just kind of like marketing and how you've been able to create such a empire.
My focus, I talk about all the time, my favorite word in the world is Kaizen. I'm always focused on constant, never-ending improvement, just get a little bit better each day. That's how I approach copy, marketing, business, health, like everything, right? I didn't want to have a life like my parents, was how I looked at it. My dad would I see him for 5 minutes before he goes to work, and then he comes home at 7 p.m. I see him for 20 minutes, he's already tired. Like that was, I didn't want that life.
Interesting, yeah.
And all my friends they were fine with it. And I'm like yelling at them, like, you guys realize next year you're gonna be fucking in a cubicle having a terrible life, like getting yelled at by some spineless boss for some soulless corporation. And you're just gonna like be this invisible face, like in the forgotten sea. And I was like, you guys okay with that? That's fine, that's not for me. But all I knew, like dude, money was never a motivation for me. It's still not. It was just, I always had to be different. Like that's my motive. Like I'm just a renegade. Like I'm not Eminem and Jay-Z on Blueprint 2001, but like renegade is just like, so I was open to new ways of doing things, a different life, a new way of making money. So one of the schools I went to before Michigan State was Florida. I met Elliot there for like a minute, and we stayed in touch. And Elliot was writing his first ebook. This was 10 years ago. And he's like, dude, you gotta write yours. And I'm like, what am I gonna write about? He's like, write about basketball. That's what you played in college. I was like, all right. So I wrote an ebook. It was teaching basketball players how to dribble better so they could get a scholarship. And I put it on a website, like a WordPress site, and I didn't know about ClickBank, right? So I just used the PayPal button and just embedded it right in the page. Copy was terrible, offer was terrible, the book was $14.95, and I put it up October 31, 2008. It was Halloween, and I was like, I'm gonna put this up, I'm gonna go party and enjoy Halloween, I'm gonna come back November 1, and I'm gonna be rich. Right, because that's what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
So
You put it on ClickBank?
no, it was just on PayPal.
Oh, PayPal.
It was just PayPal. So I did put it up that night, and I did go out and party, but I did not get rich.
You're like,
Yeah.
where are my sales? Like,
2 out of 3, yeah. So I checked like the WordPress stats, and like I didn't know about traffic. I posted like a link in a forum, and I was like, yo, that's the secret, right?
That's it.
And like 12 people visited the page, no one bought. And I was like, I just gave up immediately, dude. 4 months later, it's like February, I get a call from my boy Ryan McGinn, who does some online stuff also now. And Ryan's like, dude, there's this seminar you have to go to. It's called the Underground Online Marketing Seminar by Yannick Silver. And there's a scholarship for young entrepreneurs. And you have to be under 25. Ryan was like 26, but I was 20. He's like, apply. I'm like, sure. So I applied, and I don't get it. Right? It was like 10 people. I don't get it. But the week before the event, I get a call from the coordinator, and she's like, hey, bad news, good news. Bad news, you know, win. Good news, you were number 11, and number 10, she was this chick from Pakistan, and she couldn't fly in. Her country wouldn't let her come to the States.
No way.
Do you want it? I'm like, yeah, I fucking want it.
Yeah.
So I get the scholarship, beg my parents for money for a plane ticket. I got like $200 for the plane. So I go, didn't have a place to stay. But there I met a bunch of smart fucking people, smart marketers. And one of them was Craig Valentine. And Craig took me aside, and he like, just like on a piece of paper like that, he was like, he saw it in my ebook, and he was like, I know it's not selling, it's terrible. Let me tell you what to do. He's like, you do, like, very simple, like you know the whole napkin story, like it was like that. It was just, he's like, he wrote on, he was like, do this, do this, do this. So I went home, and I just did what he said. I didn't try and outsmart my mentor, I just did what he said. Yeah. And we went from zero, I didn't make 100, I went from 0 to 20 grand a month immediately. I go in the car, I find my like most banging like Rick Ross track, and I like turn it as loud as it goes, I put all the windows down, and I drive slowly through the entire college campus so everyone knows I'm a fucking boss now. I was in a Jeep Liberty.
Nice.
Yeah, the most boss car on the planet, yeah. So what I did was I took the first 20 grand, and I went on Craigslist, and I searched for used cars that were convertibles, and I bought a 2004 Audi A4 Cabriolet. Yeah, beige interior, beige exterior, convertible. I went to the guy. I went to the lot and bought a drop, like a Paul Wall song. it was so gratifying for me, like beyond like the rational reasons, just by like the emotional reasons being that all my friends, no one thought I could do it. Everyone thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
I like, because you lock yourself in your room when you're like launching a product, right? My dorm room at the time, and everyone's like, "What are you doing? Stop being a loner. This isn't gonna work. Just come party with us for one night." Like all the shit you hear from people around you, and just the fact that I did it and I made money so quickly. And I go to class one day, and I park my Audi convertible, and my teacher parks next to me in her beat up 1993 like Toyota Camry, and we both get out and we make eye contact, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. And I just went back in my car, did not go to class, I dropped out. And that was like my dropout moment. I'm like, don't take money advice from broke people. Why am I paying this woman to like, it just didn't make any sense. I was like, I'm done.
How did you keep motivation, or maybe you lost it?
When I was 25, 26, I was making like 300 grand a month, working like 10, 20 hours a week.
Nice.
And
10, 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
300 grand a month.
I would just.
That's great.
It was, I wake up, my whole business was an email newsletter that I sent every day. So I wake up, I spend like a good hour writing one newsletter every morning. Fresh one that not like an autoresponder or anything. And then we just had products that we sold, and that was like the whole business. It was so, I can't do that anymore. It was so simple back then. I strongly believe that environment is destiny. And who you're around is like, you know, we all know the fucking, right? Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You're the sum of the five people you hang around. Your network is your network. There's so many cliches about this. People get it, but they don't live it. And it really is, I think it's destiny. So when I was 20, like you mentioned hang arounds, that you're part, like I was like the same enablers and people in Vegas. And it's a bad environment. What got me out of it was going back and spending time with the people who were fucking making my 300 grand a month. Like if they made 300 grand a month, they would probably, they wouldn't kill themselves, but they might consider it. Like people who are making that much more money. Because when I go and hang out with them, I feel small again, right? I feel like, fuck, I'm fucking up right now. I felt like I was in a hole and I couldn't pull myself out. The only way was I had to put myself in environments around people who are way ahead of me, knowing that just their presence, they don't need to say anything to me. Just being fucking around them in person is gonna lift me up and fucking screw my head back on straight, which it did. When I would go through hard partying phases, the first part of it is you're like, this is fucking fun, right? You're like, this is a good time. You're like, because you're like fucked up. You're like,
man,
how could anyone not want to do this? You're like, this is so great, right? Then you start waking up feeling like shit every morning. You're like, okay, I kind of get the negatives of it. But like the first part's good, and then as you keep doing it, you start like, why? You start talking to yourself like, why am I doing this? And like now it's become a pattern. It's not something you actually want to be doing. And when that was happening, I was like, I need to take like some violent action here to like stop this in those tracks. And that's what
violent action.
Yeah,
I like that.
I would put myself in those like. I'd start calling these people like, yo, where are you? Like, I'm flying out there. I just want to be like, you don't need to talk to me. I just need to be in that environment. I need to pull myself out of this one.
Interesting.
For a little bit.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Really cool. And I love how you throw events too, by the way, just kind of on a side note. That's neat.
The experience people get at these live events is just like, it's life changing, man. Yeah. I launched an online product, one that we put a lot of time into, and no one bought it. And we didn't know why. It was our first miss. We like hit like 8 home runs in a row, and all of a sudden no one's buying it. And on day 2 of that promotion, I was like, well, I'm not gonna keep selling something no one wants. And I created an entire funnel to sell a live event that didn't exist the same day, put it out there, and all of a sudden people bought tickets like gangbusters.
Oh, shit.
So then I was like, and there was like 2 months until the date for this event I was planning. So we had to like scramble to like put this shit together.
We have to set it up.
And that was in November, and the event was in January in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And there was like 250 people at the first one, and we rocked it. Like it was great. And then I was like, meeting my customers in person and seeing the impact, I was like, this is good, because behind a computer, like when you get a testimony from someone that's like, John, I'm making like 8 grand a month now, I quit my job, you're like, oh, that's cool, and then you go back and play with your kids, right? But when you hear it like in person, it actually, you get some juice from it, because it's actually, you see it, you hear it, you see the smile on their face, the tone of their voice, and it doesn't come through online, and I just think, I don't know how else to get that without in person.
What would you say is the most important skill to just starting an online business? What is some of your advice for people looking to? Is it copywriting?
It's 100% copywriting. I don't know any online marketer who makes a lot of money that isn't a ridiculously good copywriter. It's words that sell, it's salesmanship in print. It's, to me, because the landscape has changed online, to me copy is just, it's the messaging.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just one word. It's the messaging. Whether the messaging is on a webinar, a VSL, on a phone script, on social media, Instagram, YouTube, wherever. It's just the messaging that's coming across. It's your fucking caption on social media. It's your swipe up story on Instagram. It's your Facebook ad. It's your landing. It's everything. Everything you're doing online, like everything we do online, is to get a sale. Right. That's as businessmen. That's the whole point. Right. And then we want to help the customer once we get them. But marketing entails get the sale, and everything you have to do to get the sale. Every step requires copy.
Yep.
There's no like other stuff you can outsource, right? But you never want to outsource your copy.
What are the mistakes people make in just doing messaging?
Like one of the worst things you do if you're ever speaking on stage or on a webinar or something is to say something like, or on a video you go, now listen, I want you guys to, the minute you say you guys, that because it's one person watching in a bunch of different locations, but that one person watching, you just gave them permission to not pay attention because they're like, oh, it's the bystander effect. They're like, oh, they'll pay attention. I can zone out for a second. You want to treat everything one-on-one. You want to treat it like you're in a closed room, doors are closed, like me and you, there's no one else here. There's no one on the outside, there's nothing else is here, and no one's ever gonna know what we talked about here. Like if you come into the copy with that frame, then you're gonna have a one-on-one intimate conversation. And how do you bring that same mentality to your webinar registration videos, your Facebook ads, your sales copy, like everything? That's how it needs to be. It's all video. So like there's this new wave coming where you gotta be able to write copy, you gotta be able to speak copy, especially with social media, right? Like I don't know how it is for your company, but almost half of our internally driven revenue comes from our Instagram versus our email list.
Wow.
And it was not that great. Yeah. And on Instagram, it's like posting stories, it's all video, right? So I don't like, if I'm doing a story, I don't sit there and write a sales letter and then memorize it and then say it. I just gotta be able to, like if you tell me to do it right now, I'll do it because I have to be able to do it off the cuff. I think people are advertised to more than ever. They see advertising like crazy. Like Gary Bencivenga is one of the best copywriters ever, right? His whole thing is so what, right? Or no, that's what, yeah, sure. Right, it's those two words. He goes, 2 days worth of marketing, you put a message out there, and the prospect's response is, yeah, sure, because they don't believe it. And he said that 10 years ago. Now, they don't believe fucking anything now. When you talk about pain, no one goes, yeah, sure, because you're not making any promises. You're not making any claims, but you're sucking them in, right? So one thing I try and train my copy clubs and even myself is this idea of like, we need to focus so much more on where they're at and where they don't want to be anymore versus where they can go. When you describe their pain better than they can themselves, they automatically.
How'd you do that for the big boss niche? Would you be like, are you tired of your asshole boss, or would you go more specific?
See, you got to drill down deeper.
You go deep,
right?
Yeah.
Because one of the best tactics you can use is if you can say the words that they say only to themselves.
The power of a few words is amazing. So, what other any other major mistakes?
So being boring is like the biggest sin in marketing. Just don't be fucking boring. A lot of people making the same kind of promises, same kind of tonalities, same energy, same fucking hairstyles.
You play with tonality a lot. I've noticed.
Yeah.
Is that conscious or is that just who you are?
I train that for sure.
Oh, you train?
Yeah, I went through a bunch of Jordan Belfort's trainings on tonality.
No
which
shit.
is amazing stuff. John Benson was a copy coach of mine, talks a lot about tonality also. And then just from my dating background, vocal projection, vocal tonality in terms of attracting the opposite sex is humongous. There's like one of the greatest predictors of how attractive you are to women is your voice as a man. So all those things together, you put them in a pot, and you get someone who really works on this stuff. Like in my book, in Higher Status, we have a whole chapter just on tonality, where I teach it because I think it's huge. And again, if you're on video, it's huge, man. Yeah. So they're like watching a fucking cat video, and then all of a sudden this dude's like, "Stop chasing money."
Yeah.
Right. And it's a lie to go, "Stop chasing money."
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's what I was like. What?
And then it's here, and then you want a mansion, you want a Ferrari, you want to take trips around the world, you want to go to Spain or Italy or Greece or Ibiza with your friends. You think you need money for that? You don't need money for that. You don't need money at all. These are such sinister little lies that we were
sinister
fed
little
by
lies.
teachers and parents. Yeah, but the tonalities are like,
it's all over the place.
Yeah.
But it keeps you watching.
You can't.
Keeps you watching.
So the human brain, as long as you change the tonality every like 3 to 5 seconds, it's like a hypnotic trance.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. As the content creator, it's also our responsibility to do everything we can to get them to take action, including entertaining them even in the product.
Don't be boring. Don't be fucking boring.
Yeah.
So any more mistakes, or maybe one more mistake?
Copy?
Copywriting mistakes?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious ones that I think are the most important, because I think they're the biggest leverage, like the creative ones, and it's writing every day. Most people, like,
Right, every
you
day.
gotta write every fucking day. When I write copy every day for at least an hour, usually more. I really believe in the principle of Kaizen. I really want to be the best possible persuader or copywriter I can possibly be. You have to do it every day. So even when I didn't have sales letters or emails or webinars to be like working on copy for, I'll just sit there and I'll write headlines for an hour for a product I could imagine making one day.
Make sure you subscribe to Jason's channel. I'll ping it somewhere like right here. And make sure you like, subscribe, and if you guys have any questions for how to get better in copyright, or what was actually, here's a good one. What was the #1 tip that you got for becoming a better copywriter or a marketer from this video? So let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna be doing a crazy giveaway, so best comment will get something very special. And thanks for hanging here, dude. You're a beast.
It was a good time.
Yeah.